Hey guys, this is Hector from the Insert Name FC podcast, here to tell you guys about Canadips. It is a great tasting, superior alternative to traditional dip using CBD in a way that is radical, enjoyable, and effective. It comes in 5 core flavors: wintergreen, mint, citrus, mango, and American spice. Canadips CBD is the new evolution in dip, allowing guys to enjoy great, long-lasting taste without the downsides. If you guys want to go ahead and try them out, use the code BELLYUP20 at CanadipsCBD.com. Once again, BELLYUP20 at CanadipsCBD.com, and you'll get yourself 20% off your purchase. Thank you again for Canadips for being a great partner of Belly Up Sports. So the 23-man roster is initially they dropped a 22-man roster, but then they added the 23rd player later, and I will point out who that player is once we get there. But obviously, guys, if you guys watch the video version of this podcast, it's literally to the side of me and Edward. But for the podcast, the audio version, we'll go ahead and say the names. So for goalkeepers, we'll start things out with the goalkeepers. We have Roman Celentano from FC Cincinnati. We got Matt Freese from the New York City FC. And son of Jurgen Klinsmann, Jonathan Klinsmann from the second division Cesena in Italy, getting his first call-up with the U.S. men's national team. No Matt Turner, and I think, at least I'm assuming the logic is because he just got loaned out to New England Revolution. So if you guys don't know, Matt Turner had a transfer to Olympic Lyon. Olympic Lyon currently is not capable of buying any players right now because of their financial situation. So what they ended up doing, they did technically buy Matt Turner, but they loaned him out to New England Revolution so they can be good in the books, if that makes any sense. But since he's in a new team, I'm assuming the logic behind Mauricio Pochettino, if I could ever understand the logic of Mauricio Pochettino, is he's in a new team. He wants him to get adjusted to the new team. Aside from that, I don't understand why you don't call up Ethan Horvath, who actually has been doing pretty well over at Cardiff. I believe that's where he's at right now. And then I think Schulte is still injured, so that's why he's not getting called up. But I think it's safe to say with Matt Freese, he obviously was the goalkeeper for the U.S. men's national team during the Gold Cup. I would argue did fairly well. I don't know if you have any issues with Matt Freese, Edward, but I think from the Gold Cup standpoint, I think he did a fairly good job for the U.S. So I think giving him another look in this go around, especially when you're not sure what you're not really sure about the goalkeeper position in general, I think it's a fair shout to give him another look at him.
No, you're right.
Goalkeeper's wide open, by the way. I'm gonna keep saying that.
Basically, it's up for grabs. Is what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't think it's a safe bet for Matt Turner. So if anybody can get consistent minutes, I mean, you're probably gonna be my goalkeeper in my eyes. So just get consistent minutes. That's the only standard. Defenders, we got Max Arfsten from the Columbus Crew, Noah Kai Banks from FC Augsburg, Tristan Blackman for some weird reason from the Vancouver Whitecaps, Sergino Dest from PSV Eindhoven making his return. Hasn't played for the U.S. men's national team since he tore his ACL, so happy to see him back with the U.S. men's national team. Alex Freeman of Orlando City. I believe there's some potential Europe rumors for him as well. So also another player that did fairly well for themselves in the Gold Cup. Nathaniel Harrell from the Philadelphia Union for some weird reason. Tim Ream from Charlotte FC. I love him. And Chris Richards from Crystal Palace. Obviously, defenders, Edward's not going to really talk much about. And Edward's going to have a very hilarious statement to say once we say all the names on this team. But, Max Arfsten, a left back that apparently, but is actually a winger at Columbus Crew. Don't understand the transition from there for him. Attacking wise, I think he does benefit why we would call him to the U.S. men's national team. Defensively, obviously he's a winger. So
Yeah.
Let that sink in.
Well, I feel like, whenever they require left backs, like they feel like the spot isn't like filled up, they'll go ahead and call a winger to fill it.
I'm not against Arfsten.
If he's an aggressive, like let's say left winger, like if he's an aggressive attacker, then more than likely he would be a pretty good left back or left wing back. Like he'll
Yeah,
help with the
definitely more of
attack.
a
So
wing back. I would definitely agree to that. Which I mean, once again, I have no because like prime example in the Gold Cup, I think Arfson gave up a dumb goal. But then he responded well by I think either scoring a goal or providing an assist. I forgot. He did something good after he responded well, which clearly Pochettino recognizes, and that's why he's here. Which is I'm perfectly fine with. Noah Kai Banks, I'm really intrigued by him. He is one of those like dual nationals, German American. So hopefully we can lock him in. Tristan Blackman is a complete head scratcher. Dude's 29 years old, hasn't been called up at the U.S. men's national team, and I totally get why. But now he's here. Nathan Harriel makes absolutely no sense to me because the only time he played for the U.S. was in the Gold Cup where he got beat. And
yeah,
I believe it was our first opponent, our first opponent, which I believe was Haiti. So, and immediately after that, they scratched him. He hadn't played since, so I have no idea why he's here. So, and then obviously Chris Richards, which I would argue is probably our best center back right now. So, yeah, it's weird. There is some names I'll mention them later, but yeah, I just think it's kind of weird right now for defenders. But not. I think there's clearly a starting lineup here. I'm not saying that that the team is terrible. There is definitely a starting lineup in there somewhere in this roster. Midfielders. This is where Edward could probably be a little bit more opinionated. Tyler Adams from Bournemouth,
yeah.
son of
He
Greg. Oh, what?
no, I was gonna say I was like he's good. He's good.
Son of Greg Berhalter, Sebastian Berhalter from the Vancouver Whitecaps, who is a very important player to the Vancouver Whitecaps, which are doing really well right now in MLS. Did have some good moments in the Gold Cup. I think that's the reason why he is getting called up again. So I'll just point that out. Luca De La Torre from San Diego FC, a player that I generally do like, but I will be honest with you, wasn't great in the Gold Cup. But, I mean, I think what he provides as a midfielder is good for depth, and at least I'll say that. Our dog, Diego Luna,
Yeah,
who was
that
just quiet in the final, which I don't blame him. Hey, if you're good vast majority of the competition, but you're quiet in the final, yeah, it's unfortunate. But at the same time, like, there's
you
other,
helped bring him there. Yeah,
there's another, like, there's 10 other players on the field that could probably help. So
yeah.
I mean, sometimes your best player isn't always going to be. I mean, look, Messi doesn't always have great. That's a fucking lie. So,
I mean, you're not lying. He's had moments where he didn't have a good game.
yeah, I mean, and that's when the rest of your team steps up. That's when you have an Andres Iniesta and Xavi Hernandez. You
Hmm.
know, Jack McGlynn from the Houston Dynamo, who only scores bangers. I love that kid. He's definitely leaving. He's definitely leaving the club. Sean Zawodowski for some weird reason. Don't know why, but all right, he's there. So that's the midfielders. Forwards, we have Damian Downs from Southampton, another German American player. Fairly quiet in the Gold Cup, but also don't think he was given fair enough minutes. So that's my defense for him. I'm still very high on Damian Downs. Christian Pulisic from AC Milan.
Is he 100%?
He should be. I hope so. I definitely hope so at this point. So obviously, I've said a lot of things about Christian Pulisic. I do stand by it. I do still believe in Christian Pulisic. I am a supporter of Christian Pulisic. That doesn't mean I'm still gonna critique him when I do feel a critique is needed. Josh Sargent from Norwich, who is hot right now. Hot. I think he's like 6 goals in 3 matches.
Nice.
So, and yes, it's a championship, but you know what? The championship is not easy.
It's not. It's very rugged. It's very,
And
it's
everyone was
physical.
everybody criticized him because he had an opportunity to return to Werder Bremen, and he said, "Nah, I'm staying here with Norwich," which he's the captain of, by the way.
Well, that's why
So
he's got a
very
majority
very captainy of him.
bearing captainy.
My adopted son Tim Weah, Marseille, who is currently loaned out at Marseille, where his father played at. George Weah, only African to win the Ballon d'Or. So Tim Weah's back. Alex Zendejas of Club America, which I wish you would have called him up for the Gold Cup because he was very much in fuego when last season for America. I mean, he's still doing very well. He did get an assist this past weekend, so There is that. And the last addition to the 23-man roster, which was Folarin Balogun from Monaco. I guess maybe there was some possibility that he wasn't gonna be available for the call up, but now he is being called up, which we'll see what happens with the 9 spot. I mean, I guess that's the first question. I mean, you got Josh Sargent, who's definitely coming in hot this season. Doesn't tend to score with the U.S. men's national team, but on the flip side, you have Folarin Balogun, who I don't know what his form is like right now in Monaco. I haven't really gotten much statistics from him. By the way, guys, I follow these players all on FUTMob, so I get like at least like notifications if they perform well or if they perform poorly. And obviously, Josh Sargent, once again, like I said, is in fuego right now. Balogun feel like kind of quiet a little bit, in my opinion, but I would rate him a better 9 right now for the U.S. men's national team.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. But what do you do there, Edward? Like, do you take with the guy that you've kind of had more positive results from, or do you take the guy that's in form?
I mean, truthfully speaking, I'll take both. One's gonna be a bench player.
A
One's gonna
little
be
4-4-2.
a little 4-4-2.
Probably not.
I
That's not
mean,
probably not gonna happen. But
nah. I mean, even no. But like I said, I'll probably take both of them. But just
like,
one
but
will
would
have
you start
to.
over?
Mm,
The thing with me
I would probably.
with Josh Sargent, I love Josh Sargent, by the way. I don't want anyone
Yeah,
thinking
I
I don't
know.
love Josh Sargent. The only thing is, even when he plays well at the club level, he just for some reason as soon as he puts on that USA shirt, he's just quiet. I don't know what it is. I don't know if there's something with the tactics that doesn't work for him here or what. He just gets quiet. I mean, he gets dogged on a lot when he plays against like the Central American teams. But Balogun on the other side, I feel like he has more of a physicality
Like a
more
Josie
than
Altidore.
definitely not size wise, but mentally he's definitely there. And obviously once again he's had scored goals, whereas Josh Sargent has been fairly quiet on that part. I'd say, and it's unfair because they both have 5 goals on their tally for the U.S. But I don't know, man. I mean, right now I want to pick Josh Sargent. I want to pick him right now just because of the fact that he's just good right now. Like
Yeah.
once again, I believe I could be completely wrong, but 6 goals in 3 matches. That's amazing. So, like, I hope that it can finally correlate. But, I mean, we'll see. Because at the same time, I have no idea what Pochettino's doing.
Yeah.
That's really
And and that's the thing is like we talked about this before. Like it's his first tournament, his first deal with the US with the friendly that he had before the Gold Cup. It was
with Turkey and Switzerland.
yeah. I mean, he
Okay,
was just still trying to find out what the hell's going on, like who to call up.
definitely. And so, obviously, we
I
gotta
mean,
talk. We gotta talk about the elephant in the room. We gotta talk about the elephant in the room. The unnecessary drama that has been brought into the U.S. men's national team. The whole spoiled player. I did air quotes, by the way, people. The whole thing about these players are spoiled. They're bratty. They look. I said what I said about Christian Pulisic and that godforsaken stupid documentary that he's doing. I will once again like it probably wasn't Christian Pulisic's fault, but at least the people at Paramount definitely made him look like a brat. That's all I'm saying. Because the way he was like, look, if you're gonna be an athlete, if you're gonna be any sort of public figure, you're going to be criticized. People are either gonna like you or hate you.
yeah.
Not many in between. But to do a specific episode in your docuseries, one, you already got flamed for the whole saying that there's like a bias between Americans and Europe. This docuseries, I honestly say, has provided no benefit to Christian Pulisic, especially when I do believe a lot of the people outside of U.S. soccer supporters feel like we overly hype Christian Pulisic. And I think maybe doing a documentary series on Christian Pulisic is probably not going to help with that argument
It's
any
not.
further.
It's not.
Like I will, just to be clear, Christian Pulisic is in fact the best player in the U.S. men's national team.
Yeah. Not captain, but just the best player.
He's definitely the best player, and I could argue I would definitely put him over Landon Donovan. But to be fair, I put anything over Landon Donovan. So let that sink in. But obviously, that whole clip really pissed off a lot of people. Called them soft. I don't know why Tim Weah had to go ahead and call the media evil. I thought that was just borderline. But yeah, that happened. But anyway,
Insert mermaid man evil here.
yeah, it just yeah, we're doing that. We're definitely gonna do that. But and then on top of that, just the outrage that happened because the whole criticism came from the whole fact that a lot of these American players opted out of the Gold Cup. Now, Tim Way, any guy that was competing in the FIFA Club World Cup obviously got the ultimate hall pass because they're playing in the FIFA Club World Cup. Like, why would you choose the Gold Cup over that? Or your club is definitely not gonna let you go.
Yeah. Especially if you're essential, like if you're one of their crucial players, they're not gonna.
But Christian Pulisic obviously opted out because he was trying to recover from the season. Like I said, I wasn't sure if he had any injuries, but it's Christian Pulisic, so it's also kind of safe to assume
Injury
probably
prone.
some sort of injury. Balogun, he did get called up, but he ended up stepping out, and I'm perfectly fine with that because he was also dealing with an injury as well. Sergino Dest was also called up, but he also stepped out to continue his recovery from his ACL tear. So some guys had like legitimate excuses. Musa was trying to figure out if he was even going to be at AC Milan. Turns out he is going to be at AC Milan. All right, my bad. So a little update. So while we were recording it, we weren't entirely sure whether or not Yunus Musa would get the move to Atalanta. It is official now. Yunus Musa is going to Atalanta. It's going to be a loan with an option to buy. It is official from Fabrizio Romano. So yeah, that was an interesting chain of events. I thought it wasn't going to happen, but clearly I was wrong. So there you go. Quick update. He's going to Atalanta. So I guess I can get my Yunus Musa Atalanta jersey. So we'll see how all that transpires, but yes, it is happening. The move has happened. Fabrizio Romano has made it official. Yunus Musa is going to Atalanta, so there's that. So yeah, my bad. Because they're lacking in depth, so he can't go to his move to Atalanta has been on hold, which is unfortunate because I really wanted to get an Atalanta kid. So because those kids are nice. But yeah, a lot of players ended up opting out. People were questioning the commitment they have to the U.S. men's national team, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, Landon Donovan tried to compare him to Cristiano Ronaldo playing in the Nations League final, which I think that's very much apples and oranges. Actually, not even apples and oranges. That's like apples and Brussels sprouts at that point.
Oh.
So, like, it's a completely whole different level. And I'm not saying that Christian Pulisic is Brussels sprouts. I'm saying the Gold Cup is Brussels sprouts. As much as I love the Gold Cup, it's compare. And I know the Nations League people feel a certain way. That's why I said it was oranges or apples. I forgot which fruit I picked. But anyways, yeah, I thought that was kind of a reach of a take. One, I think that there's a different level of pride when you're talking about representing Portugal, France, anywhere.
Like World Cup winners, you mean?
Yeah. Like, I think that's Portugal's definitely a World Cup winner.
Yeah, but I mean, prospects, you know.
And once again, there's just a cultural identity with those national teams.
Yeah,
it's an embodiment of the nation. Like, it's not just So let's be honest.
Is
like,
that an intended pun on the Nations League?
Yeah. But obviously, Nations League is probably not the most like, oh my God, we won this tournament, thing. Because obviously a lot of people take it with a grain of salt for Nations League, however you feel about Nations League. But no one seems to care about it unless you're in the final. So
yeah,
and then all of a sudden, it matters now. But yeah, and Gold Cup, like I said, if I were to rank all the continental tournaments that are featured in FIFA, probably not breaking the top three.
yeah.
I mean, World Cup's number one. I don't think anybody's going to argue that one. Euro, Copa America. So that's the top three. Actually, I'll do Copa America then Euro, but that's just because Copa America is well, it's fun, and very physical, a lot of violence. So maybe that's the reason why I like it. Anyways,
A lot
so
of
once again,
violence.
it's apples and oranges. Anyway, the whole thing is obviously all this unnecessary drama that was given to the team. People asking Mauricio Pochettino of his thoughts of what Pulisic said, blah blah blah, all this crap, right? Um, Obviously Pochettino's already said it. We're moving forward. We're moving forward, and we're focusing on this. Clearly, he's moving forward because he called out Christian Pulisic. So, but Edward, just your thoughts overall on the unnecessary drama that was brought in for the U.S. men's national team.
Um, I mean, it's like they're expecting too much out of the U.S. men's national team. They're expecting so much, and I had to be this guy, but they're not up there yet. So to be dealing with all this kind of crap, like they got basically now it's just time to play to prove themselves that, that drama it doesn't do anything to them. That it's just I don't know, man. Like personally, me, I'm like Christian Pulisic. Yes, like you said, best player of the U.S. national squad right now. Um, I just, it's just I'm like at a loss for words. Like I legit am. I'm just like I don't I'm not about the drama. Like I just want them to play and to play well. Like for them to actually find that sweet spot.
Mm-hmm.
And sadly, I have to go back and refer to the 2002 World Cup USA men's national team. I have to go back to that because that's when it was like nitty and gritty, but they also had some sort of flash. Right now, I can't even begin to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, new coach, bringing certain players in, not always the same ones. Their performance recently, has to speak for themselves. So now they just kind of they have to push up. They have to go ahead and show up this time around, not like in the final.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that's my thought process. Like I'm just like enough about the drama. Show me what you can do on the field. That's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah.
Yeah, I think I honestly I just want to go back to ball. Like I really don't give a rat's ass about this. Like I said, from what I said in last week's episode, like I just don't want Christian Pulisic to be responding anymore. Like I want him to just let his game do the talking.
Yeah.
Like
And
and honestly, it's gonna pay off for him because this is what's gonna happen. Like in these two friendlies against Japan and South Korea, if Christian Pulisic has a standout performance where, if even in a losing effort, like if they show a valiant effort, which is really all that everyone's asking, is just to put out, like for instance the Gold Cup final, they lost, but you would say in that context with the players that were available to the U.S., not bad,
mhm.
like. And so I think it's for Christian Pulisic. Like if he comes in here and does really well against Japan, maybe creates a lot of opportunities, maybe even scores a few goals himself. And the Alexi Lawlesses, the Landon Donovans, the Tim Howards, and whoever has criticized Christian Pulisic is going to be like, yeah, he's Captain America. This is what he does. I guarantee you, someone's going to say this. Like I don't know who. Maybe Alexi Lawless. Probably is going to be Alexi Lawless. It's like this is Captain America. This is what he does. Like somewhere along those lines, someone's gonna say that if Christian Pulisic has a standout performance. Once again, I'm not gonna guarantee a victory, but some sort of positive result. Maybe beat South Korea and then draw against Japan. I don't know. But if Christian Pulisic shows that he's clearly not the problem with the U.S. men's national team, they're gonna go back to like Christian Pulisic's the man. Like that we this is Captain America. This is our guy.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna do that. Because once again, like as much as they're going to criticize, they're also going to flip the script when things are looking great. Like once again, that's what they get paid to do. Evil. But yeah, I think it's ridiculous. But let's go back to this roster. Let's ignore all the dumb things that has happened. But this roster, what do you like about this roster, Edward?
Um, Personally, I like the fact that it's not just the same people over and over.
Okay.
Like it's not uh for example, I know he's your dude, but Ricardo Pepi, he's not there.
Well, I think mainly just because now because he hasn't really been starting for PSV. But obviously he's still recovering from his injury. So
Yeah.
I think that's the main reason why he wasn't called up. We don't see Malik Tillman. I think a lot of the guys that are either like just came out of injury. I'm not talking about like Sergino Dest or Balogun, but like guys that just came out of injuries. Like I think if I'm putting my brain with Pochettino's brain, which I don't think that's even possible for me to do. But I think he's just like, I want to let them be with the club, get themselves back in shape and in playing form, right? At
Yeah.
least that's what I'm thinking. Same thing with Musa. Musa didn't get called up either. He's like, he was trying to figure out whether or not he's going to be going to a different club. Now he might be staying with AC
Excuse
Milan.
me.
So let him kind of trying to figure out his role for the club. Same thing for Malik Tillman just joined Bayer Leverkusen. So I think those factors came into play, which I know sounds very madly inconsistent because there's maybe some guy like Damian Downs just joined Southampton, but I also think that that's a little bit of a different scenario. I guess like exceptions to the rule. I guess I don't know, but because I think the guys that are brought in, like I will say, Damian Downs is probably like it makes sense to bring him in. You're not gonna have you're not gonna have Ricardo Pepi, but you could bring in Damian Downs, a guy that I'm just glad Ajiman's not here. But Ajiman just is with a new club now, so maybe he wants Ajiman to get adjusted to his new club in Derby County. So their logic is there for me, but like you said, I do like that there's some different names. I'm glad that we're seeing Alex Dejas back. He should have been there for the Gold Cup. I think that as far as depth wise, I think he's a great guy to come off the bench and be crucial in the wings. So uh, I think it was unfortunate that we ignored Zendejas last season, especially because of how well he was contributing to Club America. Um, that's just my opinion on that one. So I'm happy he's with the U.S. men's national team right now.
Yeah.
Anything you dislike?
Hmm. No, I mean it's a pretty like it's a pretty open squad. Like I can't really say much. Like most of these players don't know. Um, I'm being real with you.
Yeah,
With everybody. But I mean,
that's gonna be
I
a
just want to see what Pochettino can do. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't want to be like, oh man, he sucks. He's a renowned manager. He is world known. Um, the thing is, it's like let's see what he can do. Let's see what he can do. Let's see, and
mhm,
then maybe he'll give the players the confidence boost that they do need. That that scrappiness that
mhm.
was missing in the final against Mexico.
I mean, obviously we got Christian Pulisic back, so that's a big up. Um, I think the thing that I just don't personally like about this roster, I'm fine with the goalkeepers. Like I said, it's a wide open job, so I think that's fine. Defensively, I just one Tristan Blackman's 29 years old. Like if he hasn't been called up, he hasn't been featured at any call up. Literally has no call ups. Um, I just don't know what he brings to the table that you couldn't get from a Cameron Carter Vickers, who's doing really well with Celtic, or even Austin Trusty, who's also doing well for Celtic. A Mark McKenzie, who is definitely not the reason why João Neves scored 3 goals. You know, but like, or maybe was partially to blame. But like, you have other center backs that I think are doing fairly well for themselves overseas, and I know that I'm not. I know it's not. This isn't a Europe versus MLS thing, but like I'm just saying, like there's guys that are performing in their clubs. Specifically, I would point out Cameron Carter Vickers just because he's kind of been more of a stable for Celtic recently. But like you're being to tell me you rather have him, Tristan Blackman, who I'm not trying to take anything away from him. He's definitely doing well with Vancouver. Vancouver once again is doing really good right now in MLS. But it's just like there's other center backs that are much rather pick. And once again, we need to figure out who's going to be the guy next to Chris Richards come the World Cup.
Yeah.
And I think that it's not going to be Tristan Blackman come 2026, come June. So that's one of my gripes, at least defensively. Nathan Harriel, another guy that I have an issue with. I from that one game, and maybe this was Pochettino's like, look, he had a bad game, but I want to give him another shot. Maybe he has some attribute that he likes about him. I don't know. I'm not Mauricio Pochettino, so benefit of the doubt for that one. Midfielders, I mean, besides Sean Zawodowski, because I mean, you don't bring up Brendan Aronson. You don't bring up even Paxton Aronson, who just moved to the Colorado Rapids. You know, you don't. I think there's other guys that you could pick over Sean Zawodowski, who only has one game, who's only played one game. So, but we'll see. We'll see what he has in mind. Forwards, I'm actually perfectly fine with the forwards. I don't think there's anything wrong with the forwards, actually. I understand the Ricardo Pepi thing. So I think with the September call-up, it's kind of tricky just because, once again, a lot of guys went to new clubs or guys are just recovering from injuries. So, like, I just don't think you can really expect a lot. So the outrage that a lot of people have had with this call-up, I think is kind of ridiculous because of just we're not that far away from. I mean, literally, this episode is going to drop when it just barely became September. So, like, there's not much you can really do with some of the rosters. So I think that this is, for what is available to Pochettino, I think that this actually, it's not a terrible roster. I think people are over exaggerating saying that this is the world's worst roster. There's worse rosters. I mean, I can show you a terrible roster. The El Salvador team that got caught for fixing games.
Oh, jeez.
How do you get caught being bad?
I don't even want to. I don't even want to get back. I don't even want to. I
But
don't
all
even
right.
want to. Yeah.
Aside from the dislikes, what are misses for you? Like, what's a player that you're like, I kind of wish he was here?
Mm, I mean, to be honest, Tillman,
Oh yeah,
Tillman, yeah.
yeah. Tillman was such a baller in the Gold Cup. Yeah, you have a good point. I would, especially seeing him and Diego Luna mix it up again. I think
Oh yeah.
that's a good shout. I would say one of the Aronson brothers. One of the Aronson
Oh
brothers.
yeah.
One of the Aronson brothers,
Brendan Anderson, Brendan
or
Anderson.
any of the center backs I mentioned. Like, I feel like those were misses. Like Cameron Carter-Vickers, he's not getting adjusted to Celtic. He's been adjusted to Celtic. So I mean, I think he would have been fine if we brought him in. But or even Austin Trusty, however, Mark McKenzie, any of those guys have been in those clubs. Like, I believe McKenzie's now in his second year with Toulouse. So like these guys are already, and they're staples in their clubs. So I think that was a big miss for me. I'll probably say the center backs are probably a bigger miss, but I mean I would also say one of the Aronson brothers because maybe not Paxton because he just moved to Colorado, but Brendan Aronson has been at Leeds. So like, that's my kind of, unless there's like an injury that we don't have any idea of. That's aside from that, I would probably say that. But the last question, Edward, I have for you before we wrap this up.
Yeah.
Obviously, Japan, South Korea, two really strong nations from the Asian region. How do you feel this roster? How do you feel this team could do against those teams?
Mm, I I don't know, man. I think like the way that the Asians play, it's like a little bit more speedster, um, long balls. I think they should be able to keep up with them. They should be able to. And mind you, like I said, they should be able to. So yeah, that's a big that's a big want if you understand what I mean. It's just yeah, I think it's I think they'll be able to play. They'll be able to play against them very well. Um, I'm not holding on to high hopes. Like I said, it's just Asian players. They're pretty speedy, fast, and they're scrappy. So if they're like, I'm not saying they're not dogs, but they're just scrappy. Like I feel like they don't have that dirty tackling mentality. Only when need be, like last player of the on the defense line,
Hmm.
trying to stop the striker, the attacker, the winger, whatever. But I
Hmm.
feel like US doesn't have that candle lit yet. Maybe this will help them light that candle, like that fire.
Hmm.
So it's basically what I'm getting at.
No, yeah, I think from like as I saw the Gold Cup go on, and once again, this is with very limited options for players, because obviously you didn't have necessarily all your best players available for that Gold Cup roster. But what I did see, and I don't know if ever if you felt the same way, but I felt that the tactics that Pochettino has can work.
Hmm.
Like I think that the way he approaches the way the ball was, there was definitely a lot of moments where the game looked a lot very fluid, which I don't think I've ever said whenever Berhalter was in charge. Um, so that as a matter of fact, it reminded me a lot with BJ Callahan, and I mean you ever and I remember that how beautifully they played with BJ Callahan as their coach.
Hmm.
Um, and I think it's definitely not that level yet because once again that was with like the actual U.S. men's national team roster versus the Gold Cup where we had guys that maybe could be considered fringe players for the team for come the World Cup. Um, so I want to see what happens now when you put in Christian Pulisic, when you have Tim Weah, a Balogun, a Josh Sargent, when you have those guys, Sergino Des, like when these guys are available to you, can those tactics be translated, if not better? So that's going to be where I think that I like compete. It depends what we define compete, right? I
Yeah.
think getting some sort of positive result, whether it's a draw, I think will be good for them, especially against like the teams like Japan and South Korea who are really good at punching above their weight. Like I think that this is a good test for them. Um, I don't think the rosters are terrible. Like there's definitely a starting lineup. I don't think that that's like blinding to anybody. That there is clearly a starting lineup for this team. So I think that we're gonna. See, I'm just gonna be happy to see Sergino Dest back on the field. I'm happy to see Christian Pulisic back on the field, Tim Weah back on the field, and see how they get accustomed to the tactics. And now you're in a locker room full of guys that are very adjusted to those tactics. So like
Mm.
if Pulisic feels in any way lost in the sauce, which I hope he's not, um, you have a Diego Luna or an Alex Freeman who can kind of like, hey, yeah, this is what we've been doing, you know, like since you've been gone, this is actually what's been working for us,
Yeah.
and that could be infectious, and I think that that's a good thing.
Okay.
So yeah, once again, guys, the games are going to be September 6th versus South Korea, September 9th versus Japan. Um, so I'm cautiously optimistic about this roster. I don't think it was a terrible roster. I think 11 Yanks and tactical manager were maybe over exaggerating a little bit. I don't think not all the names are home runs. I'm not saying that, but also like, have you seen our talent pool?
Who is that guy? I don't